They say envy blinds us to our own beauty, and nowhere is this truer than in our story today. So settle in and let's journey to a place where feathers and freedom teach a valuable lesson. Imagine a sun-drenched garden, alive with the buzz of bees and the scent of blooming flowers. This garden was home to all sorts of wonderful creatures, including a humble little starling. He wasn't the most colorful bird, just a simple, sleek gray, but he had a secret wish. Every day he would watch the magnificent peacock, a walking rainbow of sapphire, emerald, and gold. Whenever the peacock fanned his tail, a hush would fall over the garden, followed by gasps of admiration. The squirrels would stop their chase, the butterflies would flutter closer, and all the other birds would chirp in awe. The peacock would strut, a king in his own court, bathing in the adoration. From his branch, the starling would sigh, a sound lost in the chorus of praise for the peacock. "Oh, if only I had feathers like his," he'd whisper to a passing ladybug. "If I were that beautiful, everyone would surely notice me too. No one ever looks twice at plain grey me." He imagined himself at the center of attention, the star of the garden, just like the peacock. His heart ached with a deep green envy. He watched the peacock preen his glorious tail, each feather a masterpiece. The starling felt so insignificant, so overlooked. His own gift, the ability to soar and dance in the sky, felt like nothing compared to the peacock's stunning display. He spent his days dreaming of a different life, a more colorful one, instead of enjoying the simple pleasures of his own. He believed that beauty was the key to happiness, and he didn't have it. One afternoon, as the starling was lost in his usual daydreams, a shimmering light appeared beside him. It was a garden fairy, her wings like dragonfly wings, sparkling with morning dew. She had heard the starling's sorrowful wish day after day. With a gentle smile, she asked, "Little bird, is it true that you desire the peacock's feathers more than your own?" The starling, startled but hopeful, chirped excitedly, "Oh yes, more than anything. I want to be beautiful and admired." The fairy tilted her head. "Are you certain? Sometimes what we think we want isn't what we truly need." But the starling was insistent. "I'm sure. Please grant my wish." With a wave of her tiny wand, a shower of golden dust rained down upon the starling. He squeezed his eyes shut, and when he opened them, he gasped. His plain grey feathers were gone. In their place were feathers of brilliant blues, vibrant greens, and shimmering golds, just as dazzling as the peacock's. A long, ornate tail, heavy with jeweled eyes, now trailed behind him. He was breathtaking. He could hardly believe his reflection in a puddle. He was no longer a simple starling. He was a spectacle. Filled with a newfound pride, he hopped off his branch and began to strut through the garden. Just as he'd hoped, heads turned. The other birds stopped their singing and stared. "Look at the starling," they chirped. "How did he become so magnificent?" The starling puffed out his chest, reveling in the attention. He paraded past the rose bushes and around the fountain, his new tail fanning out behind him. This was everything he had ever wanted. He felt important, seen, and truly special. He walked right up to the spot where the peacock usually held court, ready to share the limelight. Feeling a surge of confidence, he decided to show off his greatest skill. Now, he announced to his new audience, "Watch me fly." He crouched, gathered all his strength, and leaped into the air, flapping his wings with all his might. But something was terribly wrong. Instead of soaring into the blue sky, he just thudded back to the ground. He tried again, flapping harder, his heart pounding with effort. But it was no use. The beautiful, heavy feathers weighed him down like an anchor. He was grounded. A few soft titters rippled through the crowd of birds. They weren't being cruel, but the sight was undeniably clumsy. The starling, who once painted patterns in the wind, could now barely hop. His face burned with shame. All the admiration he had just gained felt hollow now. What good was being beautiful if he couldn't do the one thing that made him a bird? Just then, the peacock approached him, not with arrogance, but with a gentle look in his eyes. He wasn't laughing. He saw the starling's despair and spoke softly, his voice kind. "Your own feathers had the beauty of the wind and the sky," he said. "Mine have the beauty of the earth. Beauty shines brightest when it's your own." The peacock's words struck the starling's heart. He looked at his heavy, borrowed finery, then up at the open sky he longed for. He finally understood. He had traded his freedom, his very essence, for a beauty that wasn't his to wear. With a heart full of regret, he wished with all his might to be himself again. As if hearing his true heart's desire, the magical feathers dissolved into golden dust and floated away. He was back to his simple, sleek, grey self. He felt so light. He stretched his wings, and with a powerful beat, he launched himself into the air. He flew higher and higher, twirling and diving with a joy he hadn't felt in ages. He was free. From that day on, the starling never wished for another's feathers again. He understood that you should never trade your freedom for borrowed beauty. True grace, he learned, comes from embracing who you are with all your unique gifts. His joy was not in being admired, but in being himself. And in that freedom, he found a beauty all his own. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. If it resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tales to inspire your week. Until next time, remember to fly your own flight.